family. Hello, hello, hello. I am Ernee Peppers, and I'm just coming to you guys live today. Well, I'm here by myself, but when my girlfriend Arletta Allen shows up, you're going to hear exactly what two girls, and when I say girls, I mean girls, okay? When two girls get together and we women speak of love, life, and business, baby, it's an explosion because I don't think too many people have those conversations. And when you meet someone that you mentally connect with, boom, baby, it is on and rocking. I met Arletta back in, I think, June of last year. Honey, it appears to be as if we were friends like forever and ever. All right. But that's just how how God works. Honey, y'all, I just had a steamed dumpling, honey. It's still in my throat. But anyway, y'all, I am waiting for my girlfriend Arletta, which she is here now. Okay. But we're gonna talk to you about everything from love, life, business, and how the business goes down and how we connected while we were last year in June. Okay. I'm getting ready to come on in here. Bring Arletta Allen up in here with her pretty self. Come on in here, y'all. Meet my friend Arletta Allen, baby. Hey, honey.
Hey, gorgeous. How are you?
I'm fabulous, baby. I was just speaking to our family on Facebook and YouTube and wherever else live I got it going on. And I let them know that you and I just became friends just about a year ago.
Yeah, and it was like
we have known each other forever. And this is when great minds come together as one, and the explosiveness that happens between two girls and women in business. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
All
women
right,
in
baby.
business is right. Like
and we're just gonna talk like we did yesterday. Like we said, we're gonna just start speaking on the things because yesterday our conversation was explosive, baby.
Yes.
Okay.
So
that I need to just let other people know that when we get on the phone and when girlfriends of the same mindset get together, we don't play around, honey. We talk about everything from love, life, and business.
All of the above.
Absolutely. So let's start off and let's get to rocking and rolling, baby. How was your day? What was you doing today?
Girl, I've been busy. It's been a psycho Monday. Okay. But you know what? I was built for this. I was built for psycho Mondays. You know what I'm saying? Yes. They don't run me, I run them. So I'm actually gearing up to do another interview later on today. And it's just been crazy. I've had clients, I've had interviews, I've had others that want to do collaborations and connections. So I've been extremely, extremely busy. Also making some connections for the Empower Network that I just joined, letting them know about this, amazing opportunity that's out here too. And just doing what I was born to do.
Absolutely, baby. But you know what? I want to talk about all that. Okay, all that we're gonna get into, and we're just gonna let the family out there know what two girls talk about when we get together, and two women speak of when we doing business. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. So now, let's go back to yesterday. A lot of people don't like yesterday, but baby, I love yesterday. Yesterday blew my mind so that we can do today. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
So now, you introduced me to the network, the Empower Network.
Yes.
Okay. I was flabbergasted. I was able to meet the president, the creator of Empower Network. And baby, I blew his mind.
Yeah, that's an understatement. You blew his mind, really? Is that that's what you're going to call what you did?
Yes. I'm just going to say, blow his mind.
More than that, his mouth fell open and he turned pink. So, I think you more than blew his mind, but it wasn't just him. It was everybody that was watching too. So,
girl, I went back into the comments. Baby, I'm like a baby celebrity up in there.
Yeah.
They can't wait to get me in this classroom.
But that is just only like who you really are, like on steroids. You know, it's all about exposure. It's all about being in the right place at the right time and having the people who you're called to being in position to serve them. Absolutely. And so those people that were chiming in and in the comments and going bananas over Ernee Peppers is because they were like bombarded. Like, who is this individual and where has she been all my life? One person even reported back and said, whatever she's selling, I'm buying.
I'm picking it up, baby.
And so that shows the incredible effect of who you are, not just as a woman, but as an entrepreneur, who you are being Ernee Peppers and stepping into the realness and rawness of who you are and showing up authentically. I think one of the biggest things, and I think you'll agree too, Ernee, one of the biggest things that we face off with as being women in business is everybody trying to mimic everybody else because they can't find their own voice, or they haven't learned how to celebrate themselves, you know, or in spaces, or they're in spaces they don't belong in, and they've led them to believe that they're nobody. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get where you get in where you fit in.
Get
you know
in where you fit in.
Yes. And well, mostly get in where you fit in, but mostly where you stand out.
Yes.
And because there's nobody in the world like you. And the sooner you start to take that in, and the sooner you start to rest in that and get accustomed to the fact that I'm fabulous. Get accustomed to the fact that I'm one of a kind. Get accustomed to the fact that nobody can do it quite like I can. And when I do my arms like that, I'm telling you to rest in it. Rest in knowing that this is who I am, and stand boldly with power, courageously in that space. In that space, because that's when people take notice. It's not when you go over there pretending to be a knockoff version of somebody else.
Right. Right. Because
I want all the women that's watching out there, knock that off right now.
Absolutely.
So if you be here with me and Ernee, you can't come as a fake version. I need you to show up as yourself.
Absolutely. Show up and show out the way you show up and show out, not how someone else shows up and show out, because now it becomes so washed out that it becomes real thin and inauthentic. If that's a word, inauthentic.
Inauthentic is correct. That's exactly right. And they don't, you know, Ernee, they don't call me the authenticity queen for nothing. It's because I made up my mind that I was not going to settle for less than God's best for me. Yes. For me. I wasn't looking at everybody else. I wasn't looking at the Oprahs of the world and wanting and being envious of what they have, because what I know that they have is a gift that God gave them. Absolutely. And the same way that God gave them their gift, God can use me in the exact same way, if not more, because I'm called to a separate group of people than what Oprah's called to. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And so I got to learn and celebrate that life essence means so much. And that woman that's waiting on me to get it together on the other side, she's worth just as much as any other human life in this world. And so I'm going to show up for her. I'm going to show up for her, but I will learn to show up for me first.
Because you know that by the time you done got beaten down from the story that we talked about, you know the lady I'm talking about. We're going to talk about her, honey, because we need to give her flowers.
Yes.
When she needs it, from two people that are not trying to be malicious, but we're trying to build her up and give her all the energy that she's going to need. Because we know at the top, you're going to need as many cradlers as possible. So we need to cradle this woman because she got a voice and she was blessed.
Yes. You're talking about Sarah Jakes Roberts. Yes. Okay, honey. If y'all ain't been watching the news lately, okay, she did a sermon a couple weeks ago, right? And in the middle of the sermon, her wig got to slipping. And y'all know how we feel about these wigs, honey. Okay, listen. While she was giving her dynamic, you know, it wasn't a conference. It was just a regular Pentecost Sunday is what it was.
Sermon.
She was sermoning, you know, giving her sermon on a Sunday. And honey, that wig she had on started to slip while she was preaching. And she, in that moment, stood in her power and said, I will not allow for this exterior thing to stop me from delivering the message that I've been called to deliver. And she said, if it becomes a distraction, I'll snatch it off. And so she kept on preaching with it like halfway back. And then after a while, she felt it like coming all the way off. And she snatched it. She said, that's it. I'm taking it off. And she snatched it and threw it across the room, like on the back of the stage. And one of her assistants came and picked it up. Listen, she said, because what I have to say is so much more important than what's on the outside of me. And let's not even forget she was in the room with 30,000 plus people when this happened. And you know how we as women are. We all concerned about the exterior being well put together, you know, having the boo bop, the bam going on when we show up on stage, especially, you know, us girls, Ernee, that be on stage,
yes.
you know, out here.
Yes.
We want to make sure that we got all of
we
our
put together, honey.
Look, listen. Look, this is only a preview of what you get on the stage, baby. Look, I gave y'all a little teach. You know what I'm saying? But we go all the way in when it comes to stage, okay? And so for to have her a wig malfunction,
whoa!
To have
baby, I would have died,
especially in front of all those people, and then to be like, I'm not going to allow for this to take my shine. Do you know how many women were liberated in that moment when she decided to detach from the exterior and only focus on the interior? What she had to deliver, the message she was carrying was far more important than her exterior. If y'all ain't watched it, go out there and go to YouTube and Google Sarah Jakes Roberts. And this woman has created a whole movement. Look, during the presentation, all you saw was women's wigs flying up in the air. Because look, everybody was being made free in that moment. Everybody was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and I got mine glued too good. It ain't going anywhere. But anyway, that was like, let me just go ahead and get about this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But it was incredible and so liberating for so many women, because how many of us define ourselves by our exterior?
I do. Because being this is what transformed me into what I give you on stage. Mm-hmm. But not knowing without it, I can still transform on stage. Okay? I can still do it because
that
it's
part.
not here. This is just a presentation.
Yeah.
But the message and the presentation has nothing to do with each other. Mm-mm. They're totally two separate things. Mm-mm. The message is more important. And this is what I learned yesterday when you told me that story.
Yes. Yes, and you know what? That's what I took away from me. I didn't snatch my wig off now, y'all. Don't go out there telling folks that I snatched mine off now. I didn't do that. But what I did do was think about the fact that if there were no wigs, there were no lashes, if there was no pretty blue makeup, if there was no, 150% color-coded outfit, the nails to match, if there was none of that, would I still feel as powerful in that space? Do I still feel that what I carry is powerful enough to transform someone else's life?
Yes.
Does the story that I carry of redemption, of authenticity, of being broken, of being prostituted, of being exploited, of being hurt, of being abandoned, being rejected, does all of that still stand a chance if I had to remove the wig, take off the nails, wipe my face clean of the makeup? Would I still be able to stand in my power? And let me tell you, my answer was iffy. And that's my authenticity. Okay, so what we're not going to do here is tell you that I had some type of supernatural moment where I was just like, oh yeah, girl, I would have done the same. I actually thought about it. And I don't know if it could have been me. And the reason why is because I have put a lot of emphasis on my appearance, on my exterior.
Absolutely. Yes.
Because people meet this before they meet you.
Oh,
yes. They have a conversation with you. People, I don't care. You can say how you want to say, feel how you want to feel, but people do judge books by its cover.
Their cover.
And so if it's not appealing to them upon the first time they glance at it, they probably won't even waste their time.
There it is.
So don't let us be the ones to come on here and try to tell you that you're not allowed to dress it up and show up. Okay?
That's right.
Because yes, absolutely, do that and more.
And more. Yes.
Okay.
And you know what? Now that you're saying that, just one day, I'm going to do a presentation to where this is off, and I probably may even show up in let's get like they said, the emphasis, a brown bag. And let's see how it works out. Because you got to put it to the test.
I think that it's more engagement. I think you'll end up getting more engagement. And you know why? Because people love real.
There it is.
They may not love real on them, but they love real on everybody else.
And isn't that a contradiction?
It's very much so a contradiction.
People funny.
It's a contradiction, but it's a living lie that we all walk around in.
Yes.
And it's good for you, but I don't know about me.
I don't know about me. Because you know who have done that? Maybe once you've gotten on a platform and people know you, then you can start stripping.
Yeah.
Alicia Keys did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
She took off all the makeup and all of this and that, and she just goes natural. But would she have became who she was if she didn't do this first? Her music is still the same. Her music is even more powerful because she don't have to think about a lot of stuff. Because we have to think about so many things before we hit that stage. A lot.
So true.
So if you can imagine just putting on a bra, underwear, and a bag.
I couldn't imagine it. I don't want to imagine it.
But see, there's a difference, right? With me being such a fashionista, I will hook that bag up, honey.
Look, you gonna put fringes on it and everything.
I could come out barefooted. I could do that. Walk around and you know what? That is a great topic. I think we should both do that.
I think
no makeup.
Right.
And come on out here
exactly right.
and conduct the way we conduct.
Yeah.
Because how many times we've been on the phone, nobody can see us, and we toe up on the floor.
A million and one. And sometimes I look, I'm so crazy. Look, so you know, I be having clients, right? If I'm having one of them days, I will give them an option. Okay, you can choose. Would you like to be on audio? Or would you like to run the risk of a video with me today? And I did use the word risk. Would you like to risk your eyesight to see what's going on? Because today life is life and I don't have it in me. I can't put on a piece of makeup if I wanted to, and I just don't feel like jazzing these curls up, and I'm not feeling it. And the pajama outfit is the best you're gonna get today. Maybe even some type of swanky, pulled out, stretched out neck t-shirt. I don't know. But you ain't finna get the fabulous today. You finna get the Arletta in the raw. How about that?
But did the conversation change? Because you did not make up to put up. It doesn't change.
It did not. And actually, it was even more powerful. It actually gave them permission to be more comfortable around me, actually.
There is. And they told you, girl, go ahead. Come on out here and do this.
Of course.
Okay?
And then the other thing is mutual. You build relationships with your clients, and they're like family. Then all of a sudden they're not just a paying client. They're people that you're invested in, and you care about their outcomes. And guess what? They care about you too.
Absolutely. Yes.
Because you're pouring into them. They care what's happening with you. Yeah.
Do you think that we put too much emphasis on all this instead of going out there and getting the job done? I think so. Because society have allowed us to do this. What was going on back in the days when they didn't have this makeup?
I think that we need to put like more emphasis, like less emphasis on it, like less energy into it.
Right.
But more emphasis on why we're allowing it to define us. Because I think that's where the issue is. The issue is not the exterior. It's not the wigs. It's not the makeup. It's not the nails. It's not the, the fabulosity of the outfit. It's not all that. It's the fact that we have chosen to define ourselves by it. And that without it, we feel like we have no purpose.
We feel naked.
We are nobody. Without it, we can't stand in power. Without it, we can't deliver the message. Without it, we feel void. You know what I'm saying? So that I don't think that the exterior is the issue. I think how your mindset,
how we feel,
the exterior is the issue.
Because
so if we can shift our mindset about how we view makeup and how we see our wigs and how we do we understand that we're powerful and we're beautiful without it all.
Without it. But no, it becomes a package deal. It's like when you go to Popeye's Chicken and you order the combo meal. You're getting the whole meal. Yep. And sometimes what we're giving them the whole combo, the combination of what's included with the meal. We're giving them the side lashes and the side hair and the side. These are all the side orders. But the main piece of chicken is your message. You see what I'm saying?
Chicken. Lord have
the main piece.
Wait, is it a breast or a thigh? Which one is it?
Baby, I like legs.
Oh, me too.
I like legs.
I really love the
Honey,
wing though. Wing is
that
like my
breast is
favorite part, but then
dry.
next to that is the thigh.
I don't even like it the thigh. I don't like
You
too
know,
much meat. I just like enough meat, and that's it. So the leg and the wing, that's it. That's my pieces of chicken. Where everybody else can have that. And let there not be a leg and a wing in that box when somebody go order it from me. So we got to go. Go get my wing and leg because I ain't eating that.
you don't
That
have to
ain't what I do.
settle. You don't have to settle for no raggedy thigh and no breast.
Right.
You're
Exactly.
supposed to
And
have a
I
leg and a
think
wing.
this is what we come and we compare ourselves to. I'm not good enough if I don't show up without this here. I'm not going to give them everything and all the energy without the wing, which is the exterior of what I'm wearing. I'm not going
The
to be
power
as
itself
good.
is internal.
Yes.
The power
Yes.
itself is internal. It's all
Yes.
about the work that you're doing on the inside. So you've
Mhm.
got to learn to love the whole of you. And
Yes.
that's really what it boils down to.
Mhm.
A lot of times as women, we're not comfortable with loving every single facet of us.
No.
We want to
No.
give people bits and pieces. Like even when we in these relationships, we want to show up part way. You know, we want to give them what we feel is the very best of us and allow for ourselves to determine instead of just giving ourselves
Yes.
wholly.
Yes.
You know, we want to give people bits and pieces, you know, chunks of us. Here, take this piece.
And you
Here,
know what I think
take
what
that piece.
happened is because we compare ourselves to
Yes.
others. That's the only reason. Because if we all look the same, there's nothing to compare it to. It's as if when we send the kids to school with a uniform on, and or the school that has everyone, now you can pick and choose who has the haves and the has not.
So
And
true.
it's not fair. And now you start feeling that you are not as good enough to come to school with the name brands. And you're not doing as well because we're focusing on the exterior instead of what we have in the interior. And it goes on with all of us.
So true.
We
And you know what I
all
really
have
can't stand, Ernee, is I don't like the fact that society at large has now made it almost like impossible for women to show up any other way. You know, society has set a margin and a line for how they feel that we should show up.
Yes.
And when we show up less than that, we're looked over. We're treated like we don't matter. And so
Yes.
we have learned how to conform to
Yes.
societal extremes in order to fit in or to be recognized, to be noticed.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and so what's the one of the things that I struggled with as a young girl coming up was the inability to be able to step outside of normative conformity. And what normative conformity is when you're willing to do just about anything to be accepted by those that are around you. And the reason why that was is because I was brought up in a predominantly white neighborhood. And so 98% of the population was white people, and the other population, 2% or less than 2%, 1.7%, I believe it was Black people. And so I was in rooms where I would always be what I call the fly in the buttermilk. I would be always that dark spot in a pool of white. And so therefore I felt like I had to conform to what they wanted me to be instead of celebrating me for who I was, because they made me feel like there was something wrong.
You're less than.
Me. And the other thing was too, is that what they don't understand, you know, they don't know what they don't know. They're all kids like I am. And if you've never seen a person of color and you've never been subject to people of color, then that's different for you too. And I get that. But you have to understand that it affected me in a very real way as well, being the recipient of that energy of always being made to feel like I had to fit in.
Add up. You had to add up.
Enough. I wasn't good enough as me. I had to try to become more like you in order to be seen and to be heard. And so I grew up in that. That's a whole mindset, you know.
So that means that you forget about who you are because you're so busy trying to hang out, which you will never add up. The cost that you have put behind will never add up. And we're still
I had to learn
going through our life. We're still trying to catch up to pay that cost.
Yeah.
Yes. And I
but
think
that's, you know, Ernee, that was the driving force that caused me to become the authenticity queen.
Absolutely.
That's why I show up on stages now today as who I am. It was because of that moment when I was a kid, when I went through all those years of normative conformity and trying so hard to be what people who didn't look like me wanted me to be.
Yes.
Closer to their fit and not knowing that I would never fit in.
Joneses, keeping up with the Joneses. Mm-hmm. But it's not just within you. It was in all of us.
Yeah.
And even in the black neighborhoods where it was all 110% black, some of us didn't know that we were poor,
Right.
because we all were poor together. So it was I would say it was a plus for us. We didn't know nothing about fashion until we got older and started looking at others that
Yeah.
was getting it. And this is what and how you create your self confidence, because a
Yes.
lot of them are still trapped back in junior high school, high school. They're still trapped in that mindset of I got to look better than her, instead
And
of
it was so
finding
exhausting
themselves.
too. Not even to
Yes,
get it,
it's
how
so.
tiresome and how
Yes,
exhausting it was showing up every day trying to meet the measures of those around you and not
yes,
being able to just be yourself. Like
yeah,
that was probably the most painful part of
yes.
living in conformity, was the fact that I never felt comfortable showing up as myself until one day that my tire got tired.
Oh,
And
I
when my
like that.
tire got tired, it was
You
more
got to
like a
flash,
take it or leave it attitude.
right?
This is who I am.
But see, the thing is, now you're not taking it or leaving it. You're giving them that attitude, the attitude that was growth and grown because of what you have had in the
Because of
past,
the
and it's
adversity.
not fair. It's not fair that you
No.
give people that and you accept, oh well, take it or leave it, that type of attitude. It doesn't work like that,
But
because
that
now
for me,
this is where
my
you
life,
check
that's how
yourself.
it had to work at that
Yes,
moment, because I was sitting in front of people, like I said, that did not look like me. They were all white people. I
yes.
called them peach people because to me their skin
Ooh,
wasn't white, it was peach. And so
correct.
I called them, they were peach and I was brown. So one kid
Right.
said, your mom must have drank a lot of chocolate milk with you, you know,
You say, yeah,
because he
yeah,
thought that my
she
skin
did
color had something to do with the amount of
with
milk that
milk.
my mother drank.
Right,
So it
right,
was
right.
funny. He was a kid, and now today I look back at it and I laugh.
And
I
you
laugh
laugh.
because it
Yes,
was innocent and it was sweet, and that's
yes,
why I called them peach, because I couldn't get
yes.
into the fact that they were called white, because to
Right.
me they were not white. Their skin color was
Yeah,
not
yes,
white; they were
yes,
peach. So I
yes.
was like,
You're a peach.
okay, that's
Yes,
interesting. But anyways, to get into this, it's all about you celebrating who you are, believing in
yes,
yourself, knowing
yes.
you for you, what makes you
But
tick,
now,
what makes
hold
you
on, hold
happy.
on. How do you do that? We're sitting here, there may be a young lady on the other end that's looking at us and is looking at this talk and be like, wow, yeah, but how do you do that? How do you learn how to identify with you? What has to take place first?
Well,
What?
you have to learn how to first and foremost change your mindset.
How do you do that?
You do that by paying more closely attention to you than you do in placing your attention and focus on others. You bring that attention back to you, and you learn to treat yourself as someone that you love. The same admiration and respect that you give to others, you learn to give that to yourself. And so now the mirror talk that you would have to be able to present well for others, this mirror talk is for me. This mirror talk is for all the things that I feel that I am, all the things that I will become, and all the things that I want to be. I learned to check my self-talk, those different whispers that are coming into my ears, the things that are being screamed out loud at me in silence when I'm trying to sleep. I learned to put those things in check. Those all those things require for you to look at what have you been really pouring into you, because you absorb everything around you. And
Oh,
you
yes,
also have to learn that there's proper boundaries that have to be set in place to protect you from things that don't belong to you. And only you can be responsible for those things. But if you're anything like me out there, and sometimes your tire does get tired and you
yes,
just don't have it to give out, you don't have enough energy to borrow people on this day today, I'm just going to have to give you the very best of me. And guess what? That's going to have to be enough. Then you learn how to talk to your way in a way where you know that you're in love with you first.
right.
Okay. I had to learn how to talk to me. I learned that through me paying attention to my internal thoughts, that I really didn't not only not love me, but I didn't too much like me. Okay. And so I had to get to the core of that. I had to face off with that. And let me tell you something. That's not easy work.
No, it isn't.
It's
No,
not
that's
easy,
what I'm
because
telling
you have
you
to teach
how.
yourself not to lie to you.
Now, how do you do that without the noise on the outside? You go and you say, I'm beautiful, I'm fabulous, I'm a diva, I'm a this, I'm a that. Now, you go outside and they say, hey, ugly, ew, you look, how do you do that? And
Then
you're
you have to
working with the
start doing the
people.
action part. The action piece is that you have to step into the words that you spoke over you. You have to challenge your belief system behind what you speak. Do you really believe in what you're speaking? Do you really believe that you're beautiful? Do you really believe that you're more than enough? Do you really believe that you were created for this, that you were made to conquer and to overcome? Do you really believe that? Or is it just something that you're telling yourself?
That you're
The
saying.
only way for you to really get into that is to practice. Practice, practice, practice. Everything is a learned skill.
Right.
And unfortunately and fortunately for most of us, we're not born with those skills on the inside. No. And sometimes our environment doesn't speak to those skill sets. So then we have to invest in ourselves to learn those skill sets. Okay. And that's why it's important. Like for me, I had to get a life coach. I had to get a mental health therapist. Yes. I had to invest in people that knew better than what I knew. Okay. Yes. Sometimes you don't have all the answers. And sometimes it's not just enough to sit in the corner and pretend. Sometimes you got to do something drastic.
Pretend. Okay. Now, the great pretender. Now we're talking about maybe the words that I just said. Okay, I'm fabulous. I'm a diva. Maybe those words are too big for you. Maybe you need to wear the shoes that fits you. Maybe you'll say, you know what? I'm okay today.
I love that.
Today. Don't worry about being fabulous because that's way up there. And I think what happens is that they fill their mouth up with the big piece of chicken. Mm-hmm. And they can't handle it because it's too big. I would say, why don't you start off with the nugget? The nugget being, yeah, you know what? I know that I'm darker. I'm darker because of the pigmentation in my skin. And baby, start learning about that. Learning that there's a difference in my pigmentation and yours. Once you get to understanding that, you start loving that you are like this. And once you know that the symptoms, I can take the sun all day, every day. Baby, now I got a reason to be beautiful. Now you start slowing your skin. And once you start understanding and doing some homework and the reason why you look the way you look and stop trying to look like somebody else, life becomes a little bit easier. Don't worry about being fabulous yet. Because that's the way I had to take it. I had to take it little bites at a time. Little bites, little bites, little bites until I created who I wanted to be. Because that's where the reinvention comes in. And you do it little at a time. Too many people want to go straight to diva. And it's too much for them. And they can't even
number
handle
one, it's a process too. And so everything involves process. And the problem that I found with
your mind didn't catch up with divaness yet. And this is when
we don't allow ourselves to go through the process.
No,
let's be 100. We're a microwave generation that wants everything instantaneously. We don't have to wait. We don't want to wait. We don't want to put in work. We want to buy our way to the New York Times bestseller instead of actually working to get it. We want to, because there's always a person you can pay off to get where you got to go. You know what I'm saying? We'd rather do that instead of actually develop the skill set and undergo the process. There's so many people, and I'm just going to use us for an example. Yes. There's so many people out there that look at us in the stands that we are and how we show up on stages, and now all of a sudden they want to be us overnight. There was work.
There was a whole lot of process.
To go through some things.
Yes.
To become her.
Yes. I was what you call the slow cooker. Yeah. You know that pot? Yeah. And it cooks real slow.
It's definitely not microwave.
There you go. And they don't understand the process. It takes a process to understand what it takes to actually get on there and actually do what you do. And you're a one-man team. Yep. One man that's doing everything from the rooter to the tutor. Getting it together, the ideas, the money. Getting the money together. Because ain't nobody going to help you. Nobody's going to help you or trust you.
And if you're looking for handouts, you're going to be sadly mistaken. I'm going to tell you, number one, to deal in this arena, first of all, you cannot be scared of money. You cannot have a poor relationship with money. And what I mean by that, if you grabbing hold to your little $2 and you trying to hold on to that, and you're not willing to open your hand, remember that if you don't learn how to open your hand, you're not willing to open to receive what's coming to you.
No, you're not.
Neither are you willing to release.
It's too close.
That what you're holding on to. So if you're walking around like this, you're not in position to even receive. So you're making yourself stuck and stagnant. In order for you to be able to overcome, in order for you to be able to step into the fullness and the power of who you are, you've got to be willing to release.
To release it, let it go. Let it go. But some people don't know how to let it go because they don't think it's going to come back to you. And I had to learn that. I had to be a student of learning how to let go. The other day, I went through my closets. When I say, girl, I have clothes with tags on it, gowns and dresses and still in my closet for years. This one person said, she's like, look, I'm having a prom drive. Do you have any dresses that you want to give away? I was like, nope. Nope. After I went to sleep on it, I said, you know what? I do. I must have gave that girl about 20 dresses.
Wow.
And Arletta, when I tell you, girl, I felt so good that I said, thank you, Father. Just let it go.
Yes.
You weren't wearing it. Give it to somebody else who will. Tags on it. I ain't never worn before. Gave it to him. And I felt good about it. And when you feel good about giving things away, other things
you open yourself up to receive all the good that's coming to you.
Boom, baby. Yes.
Yeah. And so that's how it goes. Once again, it goes back to process. Yes. It goes back to process. So you have an understanding of how this works. It's all process and there's an order to it all. And so until you open yourself to be able to release, it takes time. You're not open to receive.
Let them know it takes time. This does not happen overnight.
And we started off the conversation that way.
Right. It didn't.
If you're looking to show up and become Ernee Peppers or become an Arletta Allen overnight, it's just not going to happen because this required process.
Yes.
And we're still in process. There's still things to be learned, and we're lifelong learners. We'll always be developing and getting better daily.
And I will even take it a bigger. Everyone compares the talk show host to Oprah Winfrey. Oh, baby, I'll give Oprah her flowers. But that was Oprah at that time. Oprah has even reinvented herself for another platform.
She has
because
evolved.
She knows, too, you have to evolve in order to keep it going.
And you also have to be willing to pass the mantle. She knows that she's not forever. And so she knows that at some point she's got to pass on. Who's the successor?
Baby. Yes.
Who's the successor? You got to be able to pass it. Because we're human. We weren't built to stay here forever. No. We're here to make an impact and to keep it moving. We're just pilgrims passing through. We're here for a period of time, existing in time, and then that time at some point expires.
Yes.
And we've got to leave behind a legacy. So the challenge is today, before I leave and get up out of here, the challenge for you all today is to get into thinking about the type of legacy that you will leave behind. As women, so often we put so much emphasis on things that just don't matter. And that's just 100. We give too much emphasis and too much power to the exterior and not enough attention to the interior, not enough attention to the power that we carry. And so you've got to get in tune with that power, what that power is, and figure out exactly what do you need to do in order to put yourself in tune so that you can gift the world what it is that's on the inside of you. What it is that you're carrying is a legacy that you're going to leave behind. Make sure you leave one that is well.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And make sure that what you're leaving is sustainable.
Yes.
It has to be sustainable that makes such an impact to the world that you now have your seat at the table.
I couldn't agree
more. I want to get to the table, baby. Because I've been looking at that table and it's looking good, honey.
Well, you know what, Ernee, I can't lie. I got tired of people's tables, so I just decided to build my own, and that's why I'm here with you today.
But no, I'm not saying it like that.
Because Ernee built a table, and I have a chair at her table, and I'm cool with that. And so I will tell you, look, Ernee, I got to say it, because in this industry, there's too many people that have built tables, and then they have an access denied door attached to that table. You know, they'll make it seem like I'm all for women and their growth. I'm all for Black women and their growth. And I want to see everybody win. But the truth is, at the end of the day, they're really all about their money and they're all about them being the ones to elevate. But they're not really concerned about your elevation.
No one else.
There are coaches out here that are taking your money and don't really care about whether or not you grow behind the seed that you planted. I want you to know that on this platform, what you've discovered here today are two female entrepreneurs who are really in the industry doing it.
Yes.
Who really are what you see here is what you get. And if you sow a seed into my program, I'm really going to deliver on what I promised you that I was going to give you. I'm going to give you that, and I'm going to give you more, because I'm going to give you all of me, not bits and pieces of me.
Yes.
And I'm going to be very invested in what your outcome is.
Yes.
I'm not going to be telling you or selling you on a pipe dream and then leaving you out there to fend for yourself. That's not what we're about here. And so I want you to make sure when you're in this season of releasing and you're thinking about, okay, now that I've learned to love me, now that I've learned to appreciate me, now that I've learned more about this gift that's
now what?
out of me, and I want to gift it to the world, be very, very critical about where you invest that seed.
Right. Yes. And it's where
you
start
about it.
How you start is going to end up how you end. It always starts off like that. And people love other people and love to leech on to other people that has something, but because they know a little bit more, they're going to suck you dry and take everything you got and leave you at the end of the road. Yep. What a flat tire.
And it's been that way. I mean, we both experienced and had it done, but we want to encourage you. This was our whole purpose of coming on. And I do have to get out of here, but I want you guys to know that it's been such a pleasure to be here with you today. And Ernee, of course, there's all love towards you. I just love you, adore you, absolutely to the utmost. And I love what you're doing here. And let's keep the conversation going. Let's continue to pour into our people. So if you're out there and you're watching, leave comments in the comment sections below. Let us know what are some topics that you would like to have discussed. If you're a businesswoman and you're an entrepreneur out there, maybe you're an aspiring public speaker and you need some tips, whatever it may be, just know that we're here for you and we would love to answer your questions. So please leave us a comment out there and let us know how we can best serve you. Okay.
Yes.
I love you guys and thank you so much.
Hold on, girl. Don't go yet. Hold on. And also, if you're out there and you have something that's going on, it doesn't even have to be with business. If it has something about you just being and developing into a woman or reinventing yourself, please leave that comment in the bottom. Yo, one of us will get back to you. We will get back to you, and it stays right here. Okay, unless you say you want to take it further. But as long as you ask, we answer, it stays right there. And you become one of our sisters, honey, because we got you. Because nobody had us. This is how we got each other. And because nobody else had us. Okay? All right. So look, this is it for us tonight. This is Ernee and Arletta conversation, y'all. And y'all need to join us next week. I don't know what time, but we're going to get it together and we'll see you next week. All right. Love you, sis. Mwah.